Yeah, it's an old British Mark III helmet. The one in World War II that replaced the Tommy helmets. Yeah, I thought I'd get this one out for the thing. You might notice the background's changed as well, because I tidied that up earlier. I actually had a proper clean out in my room after last stream, like I said I was going to do, because I made such a mess knocking stuff over. I was like, right, I'm going to hoover, tidy all this shit up. So there you can see I've got the rapier in the background where you can see it now, sitting on that little ledge. I've put some more masks on the wall, and changed locations of some of them. I've tried to make them supported quite well, so the straps aren't taking the full brunt of the force of hanging up there. But, you know, I thought I'd change things. One of the bows is hanging on the wall as well now. So yeah, that's all a bit different on the wall. It does look a bit cluttered, but I think that looks a bit better anyway, just because... Oh, it's certainly better in regards to the floor, because it means now... I'll just pull this to the angle where people can see it. It means now that... hello Beeben, and hello Richard. It means now, obviously, there's... This isn't the Brody helmet, it's the one that replaced the Brody helmet. It's the tortoise or the turtle helmet. Yeah, I think it looks a bit cluttered, as I was saying, but the thing is, it has cleared up my room a lot more, because now everything is actually, a lot of the stuff is on the wall, rather than sitting in bags or whatever on the floor. Right, hope you've got room for all those rabbits, because I like volunteering in an animal shelter. Obviously we have to deal with quite a lot where people haven't actually, you know, sort of got room for all their animals, if that makes sense. It's a French riot sleeve vest thing on top of a British police Kevlar vest. So I mounted that all together. That's very strange, uses a hammer. They're real but deactivated, all the guns. So, means they'll never shoot again. They comply to UK laws on deacs. There's actually an axe in the background as well now. You know, despite the other day, oh, there's an axe in the background. Well, there wasn't, but there is now. I've actually put my Viking axe up there. And it's secured behind the Lee Enfield on top of an actual mount, so there's no way it can slip and cut my head off while I'm asleep. I've played Borderlands 2, it was alright, but I've not got any fuss to play it. Yeah, it's hidden. Like I said, it's a bit cluttered there. What I've ordered tonight, I'm going to install one when it comes next week. And then if it works well, I'll buy some more. Is I bought some like lightweight racking stuff that I'm going to put along above where the Lee Enfield is. You won't be able to see that there. I'll put the camera up very briefly so you can see it. There's not one there obviously at the moment, but see that corner? I'm going to get some racking to go up there, so it goes along to meet where the other set of shelves are. That way, I'll do one bit of racking. If the racking you know, works well, I'll be able to put some gas masks or some whatever on there, and then I'll install some more, and then I'll be able to go along the wall and be able to put some of my hats and helmets and things on there, and have them in this room and clear clutter elsewhere, and then I can use that for gas mask satchels. I'm 25 HP pencil, as my username would suggest if you 93. That's a Sieb Gorman VistaVision. It's a pretty retro mask. That's the only one I was a bit annoyed about hanging up because of its age, but what I've done is, because it has both like a neck strap and a like, you know, top strap, I've got it supported by multiple straps on multiple things, so the weight of it shouldn't be going all onto the straps, but it wouldn't work anyway because it's designed to be attached to a filter or an airflow type thing, and you know, I've got one of my masks on a foam head, but the problem is obviously you're still going to need it on a shelf or something, aren't you, if it's on a foam head? Because my MM1's on a foam head with the tank helmet. So if I had a shelf, I could get that foam head and I could put it there or something, and then you could actually see it in the background and it would look really good. Lower the quality, Spitfire. It says it's all fine at my end. No, the live streams are up there. You can watch all of them, Titus. They're on my channel. They're all up there. People can see them. I regularly get comments on them after they've gone live, so they're all there. Well, I've never had any problems when I've displayed masks on foam heads. I know people say certain masks react to it, but I've never had problems. Now, I agree, hanging them up isn't brilliant, because obviously the weight of the mask is constantly going to be pulling on itself. But most of the masks I display by hanging up are like not worth anything, or they're broken anyway. Like the GP7, I'm never going to use that as an actual proper mask, but it looks cool hanging up there. Are they put under a separate tab, Titus, or something like that on YouTube? But they are on my channel. Hi Peach, that's weirded me out because it says video base with a mod symbol next to it, but obviously I remembered it's you, Peach. It might be that if you click like and refresh the page, you'll notice a difference. But let me refresh it on my end, and I'll tell you how many likes and all that I can see. But yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody. It says at the moment I've got 10 likes, 43 views. So yeah, don't forget to click like if you're actually watching. No, you didn't listen, did you, HB Pencil? I explained it already. Probably depends on what you want. I mean, I've done videos on various suggestions, but something like the GP5M or whatever on the far side there, you could get one of those very cheaply. You just have to get a safe filter for it, which makes it a bit more difficult. But yeah, it's just your thing isn't working, rocks. I don't have a Mickey Mouse gas mask, if that's what you're about, the American Mickey Mouse. That's very rare. There's only like 3 in existence, or something like that. I think 1 in a museum and 2 in private collections. There's probably a couple more than that, but it's a very, very rare mask. I have quite a few creepy masks, but I don't have that particular one. I really don't know, Simon. Probably 12 to 24 hours, but that's why you should plug the filters back up if you're not using them. I've got an S10 microphone, but yeah, that's a good price for anybody that's not got one. C7s are pretty damn rare, Defiant, just because they tried to destroy all of them after they issued them. It's the mug again. That's almost an optimum coffee temperature at the moment. Funny you mentioned Bulgaria. That's the Bulgarian PG1 hanging up there. Don't know if there's any way I can get him facing forwards. Probably not really, but yeah, that's the Bulgarian PG1 there. In Britain they destroyed them like a recycling thing. They took the materials to reuse them for other things. I've also got a Bulgarian PDE1. It might be up on that shelf, but I'm not sure. I'd have to check, excuse me. Which one? The Bulgarian PDE1 is a cheek filter mask. It's like an M17 clone. Yeah, I've already said loads of times I'd like to visit Chernobyl, but when I planned on doing it was when the Ukrainian sort of civil war, Russian incursion, whatever you want to call it, happened. So I wasn't able to go, and then I've just not, bothered trying again since then. But yeah, I'll probably go at some point. I think it's next month, isn't it? The Chernobyl TV series starts. What's the filter, by the way? can't see a previous comment. Oh, the Myra CM6M. No, I'm not familiar with that, if that's the filter. Oh, and obviously because I announced that I was streaming tonight, we've got all the people on that have already disliked the stream, so make sure if you're actually a genuine fan you like it. Just because, what a surprise, they're out in force. I had an English flag up. I still have the English flag up, it's just on this wall over there where you can't see it. But yeah, it's on the other wall. And obviously the webcam just faces one way, but there is an English flag up. Well, chromium isn't a very good idea to breathe it, but it was better than the alternatives of not having, I think, ammonia protection at one point. What about the British Army? It used to be very good at one point. At the moment it's very underfunded. I mean, I don't approve of a lot of the things they do, but as I said, I don't want to get politics into this. Right, so it says there's 30 people watching now, so don't forget to leave a like if you haven't left a like yet, just because I haven't actually had all that many this stream so far. I haven't actually watched World War II in colour, the Netflix one. I'll have to check that out at some point, I imagine. No idea what you're on about there, Steve. Oh, are you replying to a person? Oh yeah, can S10 outserts fit on GP5 lenses? No, because the S10's lenses are completely different size. This is a British Mark III helmet. Well, I suppose it could actually be a Mark IV helmet, I'm not sure. But it's the one that replaced the Mark II Brody in service. I've got an MCU2P, but it's not got straps and it's broken. It's a cool looking mask, but it was made out of silicon, which is kind of a massive drawback, because you don't really make gas masks out of silicon because it's not chemically resistant to a good degree. Alright, cheers, thanks for letting me know, Mike. Yeah, not quite fully in 1776, it was probably late 1800s, I imagine, Slingshot Warrior, that actually the power shifted. Definitely, I'd say by World War I. Well, I don't have any of the materials for producing one, or like any of the manufacturing, but there's so many different designs out there, I don't know if I could actually produce something all that amazing, to be honest. Alright, cheers, Spitfire. End of World War II, Nathan, so I assume 1944 sort of time. There's pictures of Allied soldiers in World War II, or British soldiers, or Canadians, or whatever, where you can see some of them wearing the Mark II and some of them wearing the Mark III, where they were all, you know, coming in at the same time, but they hadn't fully, like, swapped out the other helmets with them. I mean, I could probably sketch up some designs at some point, but as I think I've said before, it would have to probably be like a really good just panoramic lens mask. Because the thing is, there's so many good masks out there already, I don't think you can improve on them all that much. I don't have a PMK3, I've only got the GP7 that's up there and the PMK1, and I don't like those particularly. I think they look cool, but I just don't think they're very good masks. Am I able to see this comment? Yes, I am, Alexander, because I've just read it out. Yep, I've still got that helmet, but it's not got a liner in it, and I didn't want to get political and wear it on the stream. But as I think you said and some other people said, it was probably a training helmet for like war games, where they had people pretending to be Soviets. Well, technically, there's only, I think, one hanging by its straps, and that's the VistaVision, but that's sort of supported in several places, and we've already been over this. But most of these masks are like worthless masks anyway, other than the VistaVision. Yeah, that's it. Try and type it again, Alexander. It's just for sometimes YouTube deletes comments for some reason before I can even see them. Yeah, it's tough GP7. I don't even know what the M65 mask is. I think we've been over this before. I know what the M71 mask is. €30 for an M71's, I guess, an alright price, but I don't think the M65 is actually a mask, is it? Best Chinese gas mask, probably actually that one. I'm trying to remember what that's called. Is it the M51 or something? I can't remember what it's actually called, that one. I've not bought Kingdom Come Deliverance yet. Most think it's pretty cool, Dennis. Yeah, I've already done a video on that, Steve. Yeah, like I've said before, I don't on purposely damage masks, but that VistaVision is supported in a couple of different places weight-wise, and it's already a broken mask, so that's my point. When I get a shelf, I said I'm definitely going to put that one on a shelf, but as Shackleton says, it is my mask and I can do what I want with it. But again, broken PDFs, who cares? An M65 supported in a couple of places, who cares? GP5M, mass-produced mask, another mask there. No, I didn't see a paragraph of text, Alexander, so YouTube's deleting your comment. That's the liner. Yeah, FP5 filters work on MC1 masks. Yeah, I like the FMJ05. It's a good mask. I'll just hold that up there. What one are you on about, Aaron? The British plate carrier. I've got some Kevlar panels turning up for that. My clock is not wrong. Actually, that one is 5 minutes behind, I think. But it's close enough. Oh wait, no, it's 1 minute behind because it says 8:19, doesn't it? And it's 8:20 at the moment. So yeah, wow, I'm not going to adjust it for that. £30 odd on the plate carrier. £30 odd, I think it was, for the two front and back Kevlar panels. How much did I spend on the groin armour? I can't remember. Let me have a look. £10 on the groin armour. Okay, so let's work this out. 35 for the armour, 33 for the panels, so that is just under £70. 10 for the groin stuff, so add another £10, and £9 for the thing I'm buying for the groin stuff so I can actually fit it to the armour. I've got a Serbian M2. I actually found it today because it had been missing for ages when I was cleaning up. So I put that in a different cupboard now where there's more room for it. Right, go ahead if you've got a joke. Have I put that on the right way again? I can't tell. I think that's the right way still, isn't it? I can never tell with these if the big bit of the brim's meant to go in front of your face or the smaller bit of the brim. Groin protection came today, Mike. Or thigh protection, whatever they call it. So here we go. There's one panel from it, another panel from it, and another panel from it. That's fine, Alexander, but there's no way I can approve it if YouTube's deleting it. You're just going to have to try and word it a different way, or don't ask it. Yep, that's completely fine, Simon. Because most masks have an intake valve, if you put a filter on and plug the bottom of the filter's not going to really get used up. The problem I found, Steve, is when I was looking, I couldn't find many vests that actually included the Kevlar, because I've got the police vest, which is Kevlar front and back, that's up there. But the Osprey armour tended to be like £300 to £600 if you actually got it with all of the stuff in it. So it seems to be a lot cheaper just to buy it and put the equivalent type stuff in on your own. Not without really damaging the mask. What you'd have to do, Alf, is basically undo the wire at the mask's end so the hose comes off, and then you could weld something onto the mask. See if it actually... I'm assuming it's Kevlar level 2, it doesn't say on it, but it says T2 on it, but I don't know if that actually means Kevlar level 2. So it's not going to protect you from a rifle round, but it's going to protect you from shrapnel blowing your cock off. And I think with these, you have essentially... I'm trying to remember how it works. I think they layer it, don't they? So it would be something like that when it's actually in it. I'm probably getting that wrong, but I think it works something like that. So you have a couple of layers together inside the carrier. So it's probably going to stop handgun rounds and shrapnel. But a modern rifle round is just going to still blow you apart. It depends what your budget is, Mad Max. What's your budget? And what country are you in? I've not played PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, as everybody always asks me, and I don't have any intention of playing it, so there's your answer. Yeah, I'm sure I'd like your rabbit. I like most animals' rocks. Pelvic protection, it's called, Mike. Pelvic protection, if the label focuses. But yeah, it's just called pelvic or pelvis armour. I've not actually got any 3M full face masks. I'm sure they're very good masks, but I don't have any. Nothing that I can think of that's legally free, Titus. Most cats can be arseholes, that's kind of their thing. Do they actually come with carrying bags when issued though, or some sort of carrying thing? Because it's probably just when a lot of them get sold, they don't get sold with the bags, I imagine. Well, I think it would be good for police dogs to have like some sort of stab coat on, yeah. But I don't know if they actually issue them or not. I'm sure they could have like a harness for a lead, couldn't they, that has Kevlar in it or something like that, or chainmail. If you've got a €30 budget, you might be able to get a Belgian BM 4GP, you might be able to get an FM12. €30 is kind of like the low end of good masks. So you might need to extend that to about €50 to get something really good. Okay, Rox, your name is actually Rox, okay. I probably can remember that if you don't change your name. No, Alexandra, it didn't come through. It's probably not worth trying anymore if it just keeps deleting your comment. The thing making the noise in the background is just a computer fan. Because, you know, computers actually make noise, and the blue snowball picks up quite a lot of background noise because it's a fairly decent microphone. But it's actually at least decent in terms of audio quality. In theory, you could build a hazmat suit with air tanks, but I'd not be the person to advise on doing it, and you have to be very careful with air tanks as well. I don't have a Scott M95, but I have an M97, that's alright. SC, in terms of, well, a rebreather technically is an SCBA, isn't it, because it's a self-contained breathing apparatus, but do you mean an air tank versus a rebreather? I'd say the air tank is better, but it's just going to weigh more. I just use eBay for buying masks and filters. There might be hardware stores where you can definitely get filters that are in date at good prices, but I don't know. Don't know what you mean by a setup tour. Do you mean the PC? Do you mean all the stuff in my room? Because I've done videos on nearly all this stuff before. I've thought about getting tattoos. We were talking about them in Weapon Collector's stream, but I'd only get quite a small tattoo on like my upper arm or something. Polish FP5 filters will fit on a GP7. Pretty much any of the mask pole normalised filters will fit on it. Modern Russian filters. I think it's going to be ages before Soviet surplus dries up, just simply due to the mass amounts made. I mean, if you look at, they supposedly made over 100 million GP5s. It's going to take quite a while for that to run out. Yeah, my issue is more at the moment, I don't actually know what I get a tattoo of. I wouldn't mind a sort of gas mask tattoo, but... I watch Weapon Collector a lot. He posts in these videos quite a bit. I watch Richard Weaponsmith when he does videos, but again, he posts in these chats. Paul Harrell I quite like. 13 O'Clock podcast I like. I've already done some videos of the GP7. I think my GP7 doesn't even work properly, if you remember. The filters don't fit on it very well because it's got a damaged filter intake where they just couldn't be asked to put a good one on in the factory. Hello. As already said, Avon FM12 if you can get one for $50 or €50. A Belgian BEM 4GP if it's in good condition is fairly good. I'm trying to think of like other modern European masks. For Shida F2 or an F2A4 if you can get one for €50 as well. Yeah, you've already said hello from Sweden, so greetings to Sweden, Rox. Well, they're two different masks. As far as I'm aware, there's not a sizing guide released for the FM12 or S10. Bear in mind, size 1 FM12 is large, size 3 is small. So for most people you'd go for a medium, because you can probably adjust the straps on that to just about fit you. But yeah, unless you actually know what size you are with any sort of mask, it's going to be difficult to advise you. No, I've never really listened to Sabaton. It's very easy to get GP5 filters, they're everywhere, but I wouldn't recommend breathing through them. Yeah, diving gear should work against gas. If it's supplying you with air, it'll work, but obviously you still need to be protected, like from your, skin-wise and everything else. Avon FM53 looks cool, but I don't have one, so I can't say much about it. I can see you saying NATO Mira NBC 77 SOF. Alright, you on about the filter? I don't really know anything about it, to be honest. So, yeah, don't know what to say, really. Silicone lubricant's pretty good for cleaning a lot of butyl masks. Yeah, what's the one I like by Ghost? Year Zero, I think. You'd need something that basically blocks stuff from actually touching your skin. Does a wetsuit actually, because isn't it a dry suit that you'd need, not a wetsuit? But I don't actually do diving, so I don't know. Yeah, I imagine that, yeah, you wouldn't really want to breathe through an EO14 for, filter, as I said, just don't breathe through really any old communist stuff. It shouldn't be outside of the UK because the Dutch use it, I think Belgium uses it, Norwegians use it, I think Sweden might even use it as well. A lot of countries in Europe tend to use it, so it shouldn't be too expensive. I don't think I've listened to those two, Nitrous. There will be eventually VS, but my mate Bart has to draw it out, so it's when he's got time to do a design, because he's done the GP5 and the Mark 5 design. But again, the S10 would be the next one he would do for like the mugs and everything, but it's when he gets time to do it, because if you're actually getting a person to draw stuff out, they have to have time to do it. I've not blocked you as far as I'm aware, but if you've posted something that YouTube didn't like, they can shadow ban you for that. If you've been posting lots of links, that might be why. Didn't Taurus do a revolver like that, Gamer Drone? This might have even been a car boot sale, this one, actually. Years ago. No, because it's not in the room Spitfire, so I'd have to go out and come back, and I'm not going to bother doing that. I can put one on for a different stream. I've got night vision, I've done videos on it before if you look it up, Aaron. Yeah, it's a bit harder to see now because it's got masks all over it, but it's still there, and you recognised it. Yeah, I've worn gas masks in quite a few streams before. I don't know if I've ever worn one for the entirety of a stream, but I definitely have worn them in streams before. This isn't a Brody. How many times? This is a Mark III helmet, it's not a Brody. And I already said a car boot sale like a minute ago. Evacuate the area, the great outdoors. Same thing you should do with any mask and filter. Hope your filter works and get out of there. What, as in the streams, Nitrous? I've been doing streams more often though at the moment, which means it's easier for people to catch them, because rather than doing like 1 or 2 a week, I'm now doing, excuse me, probably about 7 a week. I will at some point, Aaron. It's real but deactivated, you know, where it means they've ground off the firing pin, they've welded the barrel and everything, which makes it UK legal for just storing and collecting. Well, there's a GP5M on the wall and it's on top of the sword, so there's an arming sword underneath the GP5M, if that's what you're looking at. No, I'm pretty sure Brent, what's his name's done a review of like a proper test of Duck Hunter, so just watch his. He's like the best channel on YouTube for camo tests, so I just recommend checking out his videos on it. Look through my old streams, Nitrous, on YouTube and you'll be able to check. Probably S10, FM12, or CT12, or Shida F2, GP5M. No, it's not. It's a British Mark III helmet. Or a Mark IV helmet, whichever one we decided it was. Because they're almost the same. I don't actually know Gamer Drone. The GP5 is good for what it was, a mass-produced mask, but it's not good in the grand scheme of gas masks, but it's not bad. It's completely serviceable. I don't really know Alexander NG. If they're the helmets, I don't know much about them. I'm not into helmets as much as I am masks. Yeah, the S10 is very good, I like it a lot, but the FM12 is better. I've done videos on EDC before, your boy, so I'd recommend you watch those and then you can see, because it depends on what I'm doing, where I am, you know. If I'm somewhere where I can legally carry a lock knife, I'll probably carry a lock knife. If not, I'll carry something like Swiss Army knife, you know, it's non-locking, so it's UK legal everywhere carry. It's like that sort of thing, it really varies depending on what I'm doing, where I am, kind of thing. As in, what is the best of those camos? Or what's my favourite of those camos? I mean, I tend to really like lizard camo, so I only have one thing in lizard camo. Actually, if I could choose, Rhodesian brushstroke out of all of those would be the one I'd like the most. I don't know, Rasmus, that's totally up to you. As I've said, because I'm chronically ill, I don't bother prepping for lots of stuff, because if my medication runs out, I'm screwed, so, you know, I wouldn't bother personally prepping for certain things. I don't actually know much about that Draeger mask, if it's Draeger you're trying to say. Which Czech mask are you on about? There's the M10, the M10M, the CM3, the CM4. I'm not sure what you're on about with that Spitfire. Alright, see you, Steve. There's a Draeger M65 on top of the FAO over there. No, a taser in the UK is a Section 5 firearm, although it's not a firearm, which means it's like the police and army are only the ones allowed to have it. You get quite a harsh sentence if you're caught with one. Impossible for me to recount Tom's tech, but nothing bad happened to me, but I wouldn't recommend breathing through one. Yeah, when I get lots of good comments, I enjoy the live streams, Blood Hunter. Pepper spray's the same thing. Section 5 firearm. If you're on about the Israeli M15, that is a military mask. It's the 4A1, which is a civilian mask. Do you actually have that mask, Gamer Drone, or are you saying that because some person told you it was a good mask on a video? Because that's like the most shield mask I've ever heard of, the SGE whatever one. Yeah, if you keep the plugs in, they're completely safe to display Tom's tech. I don't actually have my 4A1 on display. I'm trying to remember where my 4A1 is. I think it's just in another bag I've either put it in, or it's like in a box somewhere. Don't talk about illegal stuff, as I've already said. Mostly in their satchels and on shelves or in cupboards. It depends what you want to do with your GP5. It depends if you're interested in collecting masks or what. No, I didn't see a message you sent 15 seconds ago, Alexander. It was designed against shrapnel. I think there's test videos where it does stop 9mm rounds, but it wouldn't be reliable at stopping them. Because it's, you know, like a World War II generation helmet. It was just simply designed to protect against shrapnel. Well, if you put a modern filter on a GP5, it would certainly get you out of a danger area, I imagine, as long as your GP5 is still in good condition. As I've said several times in this stream, they're real but deactivated. That wouldn't bother me too much. Either way, Mike, I'd still watch it and enjoy it. Don't really know, to be honest. Maybe someplace in the US, as we've been over quite a few times on this channel, but hard to say, really. Not really. If there's completely unbiased ones, maybe. But the problem is I found with lots of wristwatch review channels, it's basically the most expensive watch I've bought is the best one. You should always buy the most expensive watches possible. I'm pretty sure there's no rule against having deactivated guns with suppressors or silencers on. See you, Chegg, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Yep, the talc with mine just came out of a damp cloth. It's not very hard to get talc out. You literally get a damp J cloth or damp kitchen roll and just, you know, pull it out from the mask. It will stick to the damp cloth, not the mask itself. No, I didn't see the statement you made, Alexander. It keeps deleting them, so I don't know why you keep bothering, to be honest. Because at the moment you're kind of just spamming the chat saying, did you see my message, did you see my message? Yep, correct. It is a World War II helmet and a British one. Although it might technically be a post-war one, but yeah, it's either a Mark III or a Mark IV helmet. Yeah, saying that, Weapon Collector, I've seen silent Sten guns actually sold as deacs. So yeah, you can get them. I mean, I don't know if you can get ones with removable silencers, like the ones that screw onto the baffles or whatever they call it, but yeah, I've definitely seen deactivated Sten guns with the silencers built on. I don't know Gamer Drone because I don't have a tank. If you're saying would the filter protect you from air pollution, to a degree, yes, but it depends on what's in the air pollution, like carbon monoxide would go through a filter as far as I'm aware. If there's only a tiny bit of residue, it doesn't matter if you breathe it in. You'll breathe it back out again, or, you know, it'll get destroyed in your body. Yeah, like this question's just turned up, Alexander. But if it's a proper question, just ask it on a regular video, because I can sometimes approve those. Whereas in the stream, it often just deletes things without me seeing it if it thinks it's got naughty words in or something. It's legal to own a tank in the UK, but I don't know if you need a license for it, as we just said. I know you have to have rubber tracks on it rather than like metal tracks for driving on roads. Yeah, it's alright, Alexander. I was just saying, because it's not letting you post it, don't keep trying, because otherwise the only thing I see is you asking, did you see my message? Obviously every time I don't. I don't have a Mark II on the mug. I've got a Mark V on the mug. And a GP5 that's also on the mug. Just going to refresh something and then I'll be back to the stream. Yeah, it would certainly support me because I get a few pounds from it, or a few pounds or dollars from every sale basically goes towards me. But there will be more designs going up onto the Teespring. Right, it currently says that I've got 30 likes, so if you're watching the stream and you haven't clicked like yet, please just click like, because I had a load of dislikes this stream as well. 15% dislikes, so it's probably less than 10, isn't it? Because 10% dislikes would be 3 dislikes if you had 30 likes. So yeah, it means I've had like 5 dislikes, which isn't very many. Yeah, basically what we're doing, Tom's Tech, is every time I cash any of it out, because he's you know, done drawings for all the stuff, he'll get half. So let's say I sold 10 of these mugs, and then you know, I went on Teespring and I said transfer me the money onto PayPal so I can put it into my bank account. I'd then do a bank transfer to him of half the money. Not really, as in like all the demonetization stuff, that's not really affected me all that much at all. No, they're not all Soviet masks. That's a Bulgarian PG1 hanging off the bow. And it's a Soviet SHMS. Then it's a Soviet GP7. Then it's a Sieb Gorman Vistavision. That's damaged and broken anyway, so that's why I'm hanging it up. Then it's another damaged Soviet PDF. Then it's a German M65 or a Draeger M65. Then it's a Chinese mask, I can't remember the actual number of that one without looking it up. And then it's a Soviet GP5M. So there's a lot of Soviet masks there, but not all of them. Well, with most of the mugs, that you can get them in whatever colour you want, because the actual pictures are all like black and white, basically. They're just basically transparent black PNGs that have been put on the images, or put on the mugs, or like the merch, if that makes sense. And then, like, you choose the mug colour. So obviously, as long as it's not a really dark colour, you can have it printed on the mug. But all the pictures are going to be like essentially black and white, because that way they work on any colour mug, where otherwise you'd be limited to the colours you could put them on. I might sell a mask if I really had to, but I've got no intentions of doing it really, because I collect them. I'm not going to put one of my masks on at the moment, nitrous, because I'm wearing the helmet. Not that much, to be honest, SRS power. It demonetised my air rifle video, which was the most popular video on my channel for quite a long time, so that definitely had an impact, but for the most part, most of the mask videos weren't affected at all. Like, I'd have to appeal them, and then on appeal they'd always reinstate the monetisation. There already is a part 2 to that video. Probably around 100 Tom's Tech. British Mark III or Mark IV tortoise or turtle helmet, depending on what you want to call it. No, the Mark V is this helmet, but it's really rare with a really nice liner. This certainly isn't a Mark V, because it's not got like the leather kind of and plastic liner, it's just got the very basic kind of elasticated liner. Putting your shirt over your head would not protect you at all from gas. If you had a really thick shirt, maybe it would work slightly as a particle mask, and that's it. I mean, it seems to be more like a seasonal thing, SRS power, to me. Like, you know, around Christmas you get a lot more than January, for example. Yeah, I imagine hunting videos would be affected a lot more. If you've got an FP5 filter, you can put it on the GP5 mask and then it would work. So why not? As long as you're not paying more than like $20 or pounds for a GP5 with the bag and everything, it's not a bad price. Newest item in my collection, probably that riot armour. Actually no, it would be the plate carrier and the pelvic armour that came this morning for the plate carrier. But I need to get the actual bit that carries the pelvic armour in the plate carrier. Yeah, this. Up to you, Jacob. I'm really not the person to ask should you buy or sell something. If you want to sell it, sell it. If you want to keep it, keep it. You know, it's not my decision to make for you. No, I saw the video where you shot the fox, but I didn't see the other one. But I think YouTube probably doesn't notify me when you do videos, to be honest, because I don't get notified of many videos anymore. Weapon Collector's videos, every single day when I watch one of his videos, I re-tick the bell on his channel. Then every single time I double check again, the bell has been unticked on his channel. So there's definitely something going on there. That can't be a glitch if it happens every day. In theory, I don't see why you couldn't put a Kevlar vest on. I mean, I will re-tick the bell on your channel. That won't be an issue, but what I'm saying is if it unticks it again, I can't constantly be going to your channel to re-tick it because, you know, but I'll re-tick it now. Right. I've re-ticked the bell on your channel now, mate, but I don't know if it's going to stay on there. That's my point. Because they seem to be unticking me from loads of channels, but not all of them. This is the interesting thing. Some channels, it seems to be like they're safe channels that it wants me to get every notification from. Other channels, that certainly doesn't seem to be the case, sadly. Oh, that's interesting you say that, Jacob, because apparently my channel's totally out of ideas and it's hit the wall, and nobody's going to watch my channel anymore because I've done things like cooking videos. I'm totally out of ideas. Oh no, who would watch my videos ever? I'll delete your question, Hyper, but I'm not going to ban you or anything like that. But yeah, don't do anything like that. That's why I've deleted it, because I don't want you to get in trouble. But yeah, you can't make improvised weapons and use them for self-defense. That would be illegal. Right, have a good time, Nitro. See ya. Yeah, some people like. This is the thing. I don't know if you you didn't probably hear this earlier, but some people are trying to get me deplatformed now. Serious Power. They're saying they need to report me for terrorism because I'm a terrorist. Apparently, that's why I make sure I keep the disclaimer up in all these streams now, because I'm not encouraging illegal or dangerous actions to anyone. But apparently, some people who are a bit salty over my channel for some reason are now saying, "Oh, we need to get him banned. We need to get him arrested." Alright, good to see you as well, mate. I'll go on for another few minutes at least. Might go on another 10-20 minutes. Is that the German World War II camo that's meant to be very good? I've got Swiss Alpenflage that's apparently very similar to that, but I've never actually seen the German one. But I like Swiss Alpenflage. I might at some stage, but I have to think of good things to cook. Oh, is that the East German one that was like the really spotty type one before they used Stricton? Ah, yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah, it's a cool looking camo, but I don't have any, sadly. But yeah, I do know the one you mean now. Yeah, I know the one you mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it, to attack channels because you disagree with what they do. And what makes it even sillier with the people who want to attack me now is there are other gas mask channels that I guess are annoyed over the competition or something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to give them any more attention. I'm just sort of letting people know at the moment that I'm trying to be deplatformed. I just thought I'd just throw it out there. But yeah, for the most part, that's why I don't get involved in all this drama. I don't really want to sink to that level. No, I don't do cosplay. The closest I do to cosplay is dressing up in silly stuff in this channel. I don't know what you're on about, Tom's Tech. I know Johnson & Johnson got sued recently because there was asbestos in baby powder. But I don't really know what you're getting at. Maybe one of those US World War II optical masks that a load of people were talking about in the stream earlier. They're very creepy. Can you actually get them done for libel or slander over that? If they keep referring to you as an extremist? Or is it presented in such a way that it's an opinion piece and you couldn't get them done for it? I mean, if you don't do anything that's actually illegal, I don't think you'd ever get banned, but you'd still run into lots of very strange people on YouTube, I imagine, that would, you know, have a problem with you. Yep, turtle or tortoise helmet. Completely correct. Saying about that, thinking of your username, ARP Warden, there's a very interesting, like, Warden helmet, isn't there, from World War II, which wasn't like a military one, it was just like from falling bricks and masonry for air raid wardens. I might try and get one at one of those points. I can't remember what the name of the helmet is off the top of my head. Yeah, it's completely screwed, isn't it, if journalists can get legal protection to slander people that, you know, regular people can't get or whatever. It should be the same rule for everybody, you know, regardless of if it's a major publication or somebody, you know, shit-talking somebody somewhere else. Let me search that up and see if it's... No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Let me Google and see if I can get the name of it up, because it has a name, and it's like a really tall helmet. I've found a picture of it. I just want to see if it's got the name of the helmet. Right, this hasn't got the name on it, but I'm going to see if I can link to an image of it. Oh, I think it's one of those sites that doesn't let you direct link to an image. Hang on. Okay, does this JPEG work for the people in the chat? There you go, have a look. If this works, this is the helmet I'm on about. We used to have one in our school classroom, but I know it was specifically just for air raid wardens. It was a really cheap helmet for them to make, because it wasn't designed to protect from shrapnel. It was literally one for like bricks and timber falling when they were like evacuating people from burning buildings. Let me double check which that one is. That's very interesting looking, but I don't think I've ever seen one for a good price, so no, I've not ever considered getting one. There are brick and mortar surplus stores, but sadly they're dying out. The one nearest me closed at the end of last month. They've still got an eBay page, but sadly they don't actually have a physical store anymore. Because that's what I like going in, is because you could go in, look at the camo, you know, and pick out the least faded camo or whatever. No, I don't wear Adidas or any of those things. I think somewhere I have got some old like tracksuit kind of stuff. I don't have anything against them. It's just, you know, it's a bit of a chavvy look in the UK, to be honest, wearing that. I don't think unless you're wearing full tracksuit is really a problem. You know what I mean? I already said what the most creepy mask I can think of was the American World War II optical masks. You're thinking of probably the SHMS or the SHMS. Well, I put up some more hooks in the wall earlier for some of those masks, and like supports of things, but I'm not brilliant at DIY. I can manage to a pleb level, but, you know, not to a good level. In the sense, you know, so if there's anything really seriously wrong here, we get somebody in who's professional. But when it's just fixing up something that's falling apart, I can do that to a degree, you know. I've got hammers and power drills and all that sort of stuff, but like I said, if I know it's going to be a big job that I'm not going to be able to do, I don't attempt it, because I know I'll fuck it up. No, I've never been scammed on eBay or anything like that. I've had things not turn up, and then you just go through the eBay resolution centre. I've had people definitely try and dox me, you know, like get my address saying, oh, send you free stuff, please give me your address. And then, you know, obviously I'm not dumb enough to fall for it, where they're trying to publish my address somewhere. So I'm just going to sit back a bit from the thing, because I don't want to keep shaking the table when I move my leg. In terms of comfort, activated charcoal and felt suits are much more comfortable. In terms of practicality, the rubber suits last a lot longer. If I could only choose between one or the other, I'd choose a rubber suit, just because the suits last a lot longer. But in terms of, you know, if I was issued one to wear for like 12 hours or something, I'd rather have a NATO-style charcoal suit. That's it, Zuckerman. You're right. I'm pretty sure you're correct, VS. I'm pretty sure it is a Zuckerman. Zuckerman helmet. Yeah, you're correct. It is the Zuckerman helmet. Well done. You win the prize of nothing. Yeah, you're right. That is the one I was thinking of, the Zuckerman. No, there's no way I could allow fan mail, because if I gave out an address where people could send it to, then I could obviously get doxxed, because I'm giving people my address. In the UK, if you have a fan mail address or anything like that, and people send you illegal things, you could get in trouble for somebody else sending you something that's illegal. And I already have enough trouble with people that don't like me online, you know, so there's no point. Like I keep saying, I keep thinking of deleting the Patreon Discord server because I keep getting people pay $1 to come in there just to spy on people and start shit. So, you know, even actually charging people money isn't a deterrent to stop troublemakers getting on stuff like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't bother with anything like that. I do have some really good Patreon supporters though. One of the guys on Patreon, because I was checking on Patreon, has supported me for over $140 when I looked. Which is amazing, you know, over the lifetime he's actually been supporting me on Patreon. So yeah, that's amazing, but, you know, it's one of those things where, really, I wish I didn't have the Discord server. I'm just going to keep it as it is, you know, at the moment, but... yeah, the problem is then nobody would pay to get on it, would they, Mike? Well, I think World War II is pretty horrible, but it's very interesting, so I find it interesting, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of what happened in World War II, if that's what you're getting at. Alright, let me go on the Discord group and have a look. What's your username then, Shot Zombie, on Discord? Alright, hello Alexander. This is a British Mark III or Mark IV helmet, we're not sure because people have been arguing about that in stream, but known as the tortoise or the turtle helmet. Ah, yeah, that looks good. So you're Rusky Starikubul. Yeah, that's a really cool camo, actually. Yeah, I like it. They're real, but deactivated. Well, I don't really get weapons delivered to my house anyway, Daniel. If they change the knife laws, like sadly the reason blades and bows are going out of business, then I suppose I'd have to order knives to post offices and things like that. But currently there's no legislation going through that would stop you buying spearheads or bows or crossbows or whatever. Deactivated rifles, gas masks, you know, there's none of that. It's just knives for some reason they've done. But it's not even on kitchen knives, which is the pointless thing. You know, the knives people use for stabbings are not the knives being restricted under the law, which is why it sucks. Alright, see you, Simon. Have a good evening yourself. What's popping up recently, or lately, sorry, Shot Zombie. Right, you think it's a Mark III. I think I've had one other person say Mark III and then one or two say Mark IV. So let's say it's a Mark III for now. Airsoft BB guns are legal, but unless you have a UCARA or a similar buying thing, you can't get them looking like a real firearm. They have to be in two-tone colours. Alright, cool. Well, you wouldn't see much in it, because if I cut open a chromium filter, all you're going to see is like what looks like charcoal with maybe a little bit of stuff sprinkled in. And because none of my chromium filters leak, I don't actually want to cut them up. Right, I'll tell you what, Mike, I might stream for about 20 minutes. So my stream this stream goes on for like an hour and a half, and then as soon as my stream ends, I can watch your video. But as I've already said, there's not much talc in a GP5 full stop. The people who are worried about baby powder and talc cancers are ones who have been using baby powder, you know, like covering themselves with it for like decades, so I wouldn't worry. Well, I've done some silly videos wearing gear, but I suppose I could do more stuff like that. I won't comment on that, Roy, just because I don't want anything that, you know, see, that sounds like we're encouraging people to manufacture illegal weapons. Alright. There you go. This isn't a Repro helmet, it's an old rusty one. You can get all these helmets very cheaply over here. So it's not going to be a Repro. It's not a Mark II helmet, the Mark II is much flatter. Actually, It looks like there might be some text under here. R something, O. Oh, it's police. They've painted over it. It says police. That's interesting, I think. I reckon it says police. I bet you won't be able to see this on the webcam, but very faintly under the paint, I can see it says police. Yeah, I don't think that's going to show up on the webcam. You might just be able to see there's lettering, but I don't think you'll be able to read it saying police. But yeah. Let's get the strap tight again. Yeah, I like the Canadian C3. I fixed my C3. I can actually feel the text though if I Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Alexander, there's people that want to deplatform me now, so I have to be very careful about what I say. I do have deactivated guns that weren't used by the British Army. Hang on a second. If I can get it out, maybe not. Same problem I had last time I did a stream. Give me a second. Alright, I see the problem. Right. Pretty sure this isn't a British gun here. So, yeah, this isn't a British gun, is it? Roy. So, yeah, that's not British. That was a bit loud. And when I pick this one back up, just give me a second. Luckily I didn't knock the internet cable out then. This isn't British either. It's an RPK. It's a Yugoslavian M72 AB1 RPK, which I can actually show you on the webcam. Yeah, I had to use my tactical pen to get the dust cover back on. It's more this way, isn't it? The name on it, on the receiver, under the sights. There we go. M72 AB1, there you go. 1984. Favourite toy, I'm trying to think. Would PS1 count, or do you mean actually like a physical toy you could play with? I really don't know if you mean a physical toy, I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're in the US and you can get non-deactivated guns, that's a lot better, really, isn't it? Yeah, I know there's lots of grey areas of that law, Snowman. That's why I never want to do stuff, because in theory, if that's true, I could buy the black furniture for my two-tone M4, and I could swap the furniture out, and then I could have a complete RIF M4, but I don't want to do that because I don't have a UCARA. I don't want to risk breaking a law. Because as I said, although I don't agree with lots of laws, it doesn't mean I'm going to break them. I mean, they're probably not going to have Mark IV helmets during World War II, are they? Because that would be a bit late. I mean, I could imagine after World War II they might have them. Yeah, it's real, but deactivated. I can show you it's deactivated quite easily. Hang on a second. The easiest way to show it's deactivated is if I get that out there. Look at the barrel. Look what they did to the barrel. See where they've cut into it and then welded a rod into it? Ah, don't worry about it, Christian. I just hope you enjoy the videos. Yeah, if you look at that, you can see what they've done. Ah, that's annoying, Mike. Well, I'll try and keep an eye out for it if it actually lets me see it on YouTube. No, German deactivated guns are really expensive. In the UK, you're talking like £2,000 or something for like an MP40. Right, I don't mind going for another 15 or so minutes if people have got questions they want to ask. No, I've not got a gun license, hence why these are deactivated guns, but if I had real live firearms I couldn't display them on the wall like this. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody. Thank you, Richard, for reminding people. Alright, see you, Rob's Motos. Oh, thank you very much, Tom's Tech. That will go towards whatever I buy on this channel. It's a Mark 4. Mark 3 or Mark 4 British helmet, because people are arguing about that in this stream. So it's the one that replaced the Mark 1 and Mark 2 Brody. I don't have any French helmets, I'm afraid. Probably the foot, I imagine. There we go again, Mark 3, Mark 4, people arguing over it. No, that's an East German M56. M56 has a better liner than this helmet. I really like the liner of the M56, actually. I've got a... It's not an actual Pascut helmet cover, but I have the German equivalent of a Pascut's Flecktarn cover, which goes over any of the Pascuts because the helmets are so similar in shape. Thanks for that, Mike, but you just reminded me of something with that. You know, Cunt and the Gang's for £1 million. Because I've had that stuck in my head. And that comment definitely reminded me of that. No, I don't have an M16. Okay, so Mark 3 then, unless the liner's been painted, because then that makes it more complicated, doesn't it? I have an M40. Tell you what, for the last 12 minutes of the stream I will wear a gas mask. Does that excite you lot? I'll get the M40 on, shall I? We'll put the M40 on and see if it fits with this helmet. Right, where is it? It should be down here somewhere. I thought my M40... Oh, there it is, I think. Is this the M40 satchel? Yeah, there it is. I'll take my glasses off. Just get my chromium filter onto it. Glorious C2 A1 filter. Not A1, sorry, just the normal C2 filter. It's not a very good screw thread though. So give me a second while I get the filter on and then I can... There you go, it's screwed in. Right. The straps aren't brilliant on my M40, so apologies for that. I'm only wearing it for 10 odd minutes. Right, just give me a moment. And then I will appear with a mask. Because of the elastic strap system this Mark III has, I think it might actually work. So just give me a second. Might struggle to get under the filter. There we go. Right, where's the thing to tighten the strap on the helmet? It's all tangled. You could use a GP5 filter against tear gas, but you're still at then risk of inhaling asbestos, which isn't great, is it? Oh, there we go. I play Mountain Blade Warband occasionally, yeah, it's a good game. I'll have a quick look on Discord again then, just give me a second. I'll hold the PPSH while I'm doing this just to look extra post-apocalyptic. This looks quite Fallout-y, doesn't it? All this gear, in a sense. And you have to try and use the mouse left-handed, that's awkward. Oh yeah, that is very interesting, yeah. Thanks for that, Shot Zombie. Don't know if the manufacturing date's still visible on the helmet. Rodux, because they get the Rodux Sharpshooter, which is the best ranged unit in the game. My favourite gas mask's in the description. Tell you what rocks, let me subscribe to you, and then hopefully if I click the bell and subscribe, right, subscribe, I'll click the bell, and then hopefully when you do the video I'll actually see your video on a homemade filter. Can't promise I'll watch it straight away, but hopefully I'll find out you've done it. You're on about Chinese TF1 masks, aren't you, Alexander? They're actually new masks. Yeah, I've been to lots of military museums. I find them pretty fascinating. Yeah, don't forget to like the vid, everybody. Look, I'm playing dress up just for you. Although I think the mask doesn't have an airtight seal now. I think the helmet might be pushing against it, but as I said, the straps don't do that particularly well on the M40. Yeah, I can hear it. The air coming in from underneath. I don't know if it's the strap doing that. No, it can't be because the strap's totally loose. Oh, right. Oh dear. This is awkward, hang on. That repaired yet? There we go. Right. Just loosen that up again. That was the front. My oldest gas mask would be one of my British interwar ones, I imagine. Like my Mark IV or my Warden mask or one of the civilian respirators. See you, Richard. Oh, if you've got an old World War II German helmet, that's amazing, Aaron. They're very cool. Right, I'll be going for a few more minutes and then I'll be off. So don't forget to like the stream, everybody, if you've not liked it yet, seeing as I'm playing dress up for you. And I've got the drinking tube for the M40 poking me in the face because it's not a very well designed drinking tube on this mask. What's that, 52 likes and we're up to 91% on the like ratio. That's much better. Well done, everybody. Either Amazon sell them directly or it's suppliers selling them through Amazon. Depends if they're good and funny memes. If they're not very funny memes, then no. If they're funny memes, yes. But my pH gas hood is a reproduction, because if that was an actual original one, then yeah, but it's not, sadly. Let's pop that up on my knee. There we go. I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'll definitely do at least one stream tomorrow, maybe two. I'll probably try and do one stream tomorrow, though, early in the day. So probably before midday UK time, so before 12, you know, midday. So that way people in time zones that don't normally get a chance to see the stream can watch one. History, definitely, that should be an obvious one. Drama, music. Philosophy, but that was an A-level, not an actual, sort of, thing. I think the MUA looks cooler, but the GP5M is a bit louder with the voice diaphragm. What time is it where you are now at the moment, Alexander? What time zone are you in? Yeah, what? Okay, so you're in Australia. So, I take it you're, quite a bit further forward than us, aren't you? So if I'm doing a stream in the evening, I assume that's a better time for Australia than if I'm doing it in the morning. Yeah, I don't collect World War I masks just because I'd never not be able to look after them properly. If I could have any gas mask I don't currently have, a Canadian C4. Okay, so you're 10 hours in front of me. So, if I do a stream before 12 o'clock midday, then that would be in the evening for you, wouldn't it? So if I did a stream at, say, at 11 AM UK time, that would be, what, like 9 PM in Australia? So, that might work out alright. I'm not saying I'm going to specifically do a stream for you, I just want to know about different time zones, so when I'm doing streams, different viewers can watch them that can't normally watch them, you know, that way it can be a bit more inclusive. Yeah, but I want to try and verify the stream times a bit more, that's all I'm saying. You know, because it would be nice just so different people get a chance to watch them. So yeah, for the people in the US, probably streams at this time are the best, because if they're like 6 to 8 hours behind UK time, if I'm doing a stream at 8 PM in the UK, that means it's like, you know, 12 between 12 and 2 o'clock in America, doesn't it? 12 and 1400. Yeah, depending on which coast you're on and everything. Right, the stream's gone on for an hour and a half, so I'll wrap it up now. Are there any closing questions? As I said, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Might even do multiple streams again like I did today. Soviet weightlifting. I'm glad you enjoy the videos, Christian stuff. Or Christian stuff. Thank you. I'll make sure I put that towards whatever I put all my other gear stuff towards. So like, the kind of stuff you see in the background really. But yeah, don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already before you go. And yeah, I will be on tomorrow for a stream. There will also be a video tomorrow because it's Wednesday. So the video that's on tomorrow at 5 PM UK time is my entire Blu-ray collection. So if you're interested in the kind of films I watch, then that's the video for you to watch. Right, enjoy your GP5. Yeah, and that Blumenthal is a good, fairly good looking camera, isn't it? So, yeah. I did at one point the Great Outdoors where I've had several at different points, but not anymore. Hopefully I'll meet somebody that I can get on with. But I'm not the easiest person to like, which you can probably tell. So, there's always that. Right, see you everybody, thanks for watching, and if you haven't liked the stream so far, don't forget to like the stream. I will probably try and start streaming around 11 AM UK time tomorrow. 6-point straps are better just because you can adjust them more, but 5 points aren't bad. Right, so see ya, I'll be off, otherwise I'll never leave. Bye bye everybody, see you tomorrow.